everyone. Good afternoon. Welcome to another webinar offering to the LS student body. This webinar is called Maximizing MS Teams for the LS Student Life. So it's a crash course on using MS Teams from Microsoft Education Philippines. We are fortunate to have with us Mr. David Ang, who's also a fellow student. He's a Microsoft certified educator from Microsoft Philippines. We also have Christine Apilado, who I believe will be helping him during this presentation. So I think this was a direct nudge that happened after the webinar we had during the first SEM orientation. So Microsoft Teams is just one of the things that you pay for as a student. It's been budgeted for by the university. And that's why I reiterate the title of this webinar, which is Maximizing MS Teams for the LS Student Life. So when students interact with each other, or when different orgs hold their own GAs, this is one thing we'd like to invite you to use moving forward, especially as you will see the different functionalities that make it very efficient for use and very effective for your student life. So I hope that in this process, we get to learn and move beyond Facebook as the primary workspace. I think there's a need for a work-life balance with regards to academics and orgs mixing up with our personal messages. So this is just one of the alternatives being offered, but rest assured that this is a learning process in itself. So feel free to learn using this webinar. Welcome. We have with us David Ang.
Okay, thank you, JB. Thank you for inviting me to share to the LS community how we can really maximize Microsoft Teams. So I'll just, I know we have 2 hours, but I'll try to make it as short as possible, hopefully within 1 hour, and leave the rest of the time for Q&A if there are questions. Now, I'll start the presentation with a PowerPoint presentation, and then let's move from there. Okay. All right. Okay. Wait. There we go. Okay. All right. Please give me a minute. All right. Okay. So again, thank you everyone for joining. Today we'll be talking about Microsoft Teams and the different free Microsoft softwares that we get as a student in Ateneo de Manila University. And as JB mentioned, I'm a Microsoft certified educator as well as a student in Ateneo. So before we go to Microsoft Teams, let's start with what are the inclusions of our OBF emails outside the G Suite and the Notion and those other applications. We actually get a lot of free software in the Microsoft Suite. So, we get Word, Excel, PowerPoint, OneDrive, Microsoft Teams, which is the focus, as well as fun games like Minecraft Education Edition, which I think a lot of students will enjoy in their free time, and some tools like OneNote for note-taking during your online classes, and Power BI if you want to do some basic data analysis for your JGC classes. Now, if you're a new user, please go to aka.ms/office education. And if you can't access your account, if you're an upperclassman with difficulty accessing your account, please go to fb.com/open-source-admu and just message the page, and they'll be more than happy to reset your password and guide you through everything. All right. So first, let's just talk about the building blocks of a modern educational institution. A modern educational institution is where faculty, students, admin, and researchers are all connected in one single hub. So whether it's faculties with their professional learning communities, students with their orgs, with their classes, with their group projects, or with their barcadas, administrators with their offices, with their project management tools, or researchers with their research projects. everyone is connected in a single hub. And one of these hubs that is really popular these days is Microsoft Teams. So just to answer a question that a lot of people are asking, what is Microsoft Teams? Is it like Zoom? Is it like Canvas? Is it like Facebook? Is it like Notion? Well, yes, the answer is yes. So Microsoft Teams, everything is here. Okay. So we'll dive down deeper in a bit. We'll understand the differences and the nuances of Microsoft Teams versus the other applications, or how they can actually interact with each other. So whether it's chatting with your classmates, collaborating with their group mates, calling and meeting with their class, or even file sharing with G Suite, everything is here. All right. So let's talk about momentum. Why is Microsoft Teams popular? Well, Microsoft Teams is being used by 500,000 organizations around the world, and 91 of the top Fortune 100 companies use Teams. So in this slide alone, we have a few companies popular in the country that use Microsoft Teams. And so when you talk about Microsoft Teams in education, it's a good stepping stone because you're already familiar with the productivity tools once you enter the workforce. And Microsoft Teams has just been gaining a lot of momentum because of the work from home situation because of COVID. So yeah, so I have a video here, and this is the only video for today. So it's 2 minutes long, so please enjoy.
We have a huge population of students, not only in our region, but we also serve students that are online. And our students are all juggling a lot. So we want to be sure that the resources that we have really are focused on our students.
I'm a lecturer in the Department of English here at the University of Texas, Arlington. My students tend to push away from the provided platforms that we offer for communication. Students don't want to use email.
It's a little bit intimidating because, you have to follow the standards. We're used to social media and just a quick instant messaging.
Before, I used other options like Remind text messaging service, Blackboard chat, or Canvas chat. I was seeing them struggling. And so what I began to think about was, how can I offer them a way to communicate with me in something that feels familiar, but is also in alignment with all university communication policies for students? And that's when I found out about Teams.
As a student, it's very useful for having everything in one area. It's very easy to just message a professor and they usually respond quickly. It's got assignments on there. I can share my screen.
One of the most powerful tools within teaching Teams is collaborative authorship. I'm able to open the same documents that they're opening and offer feedback while they're actually authoring the document.
It helps your assignment flow better. They are helping you along the way, just like if you would go to their office hours.
I am a student worker on campus, and that function is very useful for having team meetings with coworkers on other side of the campus. I can just click a button and, hey, video chat real quick and show them what I'm looking at.
In an aggregate, it really helps our students juggle all of the things that they're trying to do and finish in a reasonable amount of time.
Using Microsoft Teams, it's made education accessible for a large, diverse audience of students, which is really something we have to think about as we're moving our students into the job market and we're looking at being good citizens of not only local, but also a global community.
All right. So thank you for watching the quick video. So this is just one of the success stories of Microsoft Teams in the US, in the University of Texas, Arlington. So they're using it to connect teachers with students, students with students, and also all the people in the university together to be able to operate. And that's even during physical classes, right? And given the situation now, it's more important that we're able to stay connected in a platform that's secure, in a platform that we can all work together on the different things we need to do as students, faculties, and administrators. All right, so just a quick segue, data comparison. A lot of people have been, asking about or have been worried about the data consumption of the different apps. And this is just something that's been trending on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter the past week. And at first it was just the four. It's been upgraded or updated to include Messenger and Discord. And we see across the board, Teams has the lowest data consumption when it comes to conference calls. It saves 2 gig an hour compared to Zoom and 1 gig an hour compared to Google Meet. And so really, when you want to work with your classmates, maybe on a project, Teams is the way to go because you're using the least amount of data. When we talk about maybe, let's say, Go Surf 50 in Globe, which gives us 2 GB of data. That's less than an hour in Zoom and around 4.5 hours in Teams, or maybe 2 hours in Google Meet. So really, the maximum data compression is present in Teams to make sure that we're all connected. All right. So in this slide, this is just my pitch to you. What is the value proposition of Teams for education here in Ateneo? First of all, a lot of people have been, worried, like, why would I use Microsoft Teams? I'm comfortable with my Google Docs, with my Google Sheets. Well, the thing is, Microsoft Teams won't force you to use Word or Excel or PowerPoint. It is there, it is an option, but it also integrates very nicely with Google Suite. So whether it's your Google Drive or your Google Docs, you can still work on it inside Teams without having to go to your browser or opening a different app. Second is low bandwidth. So just again, as I mentioned later, it's the conferencing tool with the least bandwidth usage across the board. Next, link to Zoom and Notion. With our online classes mostly being on Zoom, this is an option for us so that once you link Zoom into Microsoft Teams, you don't even have to open the Zoom app anymore. You'll be able to open it using Teams. And a lot of students have been very fond of Notion for their org lives, for their personal lives. And I'm glad to say that Notion also syncs with Teams, and a lot of different apps and websites can sync with Microsoft Teams, which we will explore later. All right. Fourth is we can do fun video calls, and this is something only Microsoft Teams currently has at the moment, and we'll see it in the next slide. So we'll go through that later. And lastly, secure Ateneo only access. So when you use Microsoft Teams, you'll be safe and secure knowing that only Ateneo students, faculty, and administrators have access to the server. So, no sketchy people will be chatting you on Microsoft Teams. It's only people you know or people inside Ateneo. So there's that security and privacy in it. Okay, so this is a video, but I'll talk over it. So again, I mentioned fun video calls, right? And we're used to this, we see this in Zoom, in Google Meet. We see the 7x7, and at the end of the day, you can read all about Zoom fatigue, right? And there's just this new feature that Microsoft has released a few months ago called Together Mode. Excuse me. And if he presses Together Mode in the video, just because I don't have anyone in the call with me, everyone will be placed in a single classroom where they're able to interact, high-five each other, say hi, take a group picture. Kind of looks like you're in Escalator Hall, right? And that's pretty cool. You get to really relax with each other, with the presence of each other in a as real as possible scenario. Okay. All right. So now we'll go to a quick demo just so I can show you the different features. We've been talking about the Google Suite integration, being able to do these fun calls, but let's see what the platform looks like. All right. So actually, as you can see, Teams is currently orange because someone messaged me and there's a number specifying the number of notifications I've missed. So let's open Teams real quick. And let's start here in the activity tab. So the activity tab is kind of like your notifications board. This is where you'll see a lot of notifications, whether it's someone mentioning you in a chat, someone calling you, someone messaging you, someone reacting to your post. All these kinds of notifications you can find here in the activity feed. And if you have a if you have a phone, whether it's Apple or Android, you'll get notifications through push notifications if you download the app. And one thing about accessibility is Microsoft Teams, you don't have to download it. You can actually just use it from the browser, just log in. However, some features like the Together Mode where you're in the one classroom thing works only in the desktop application. But again, the desktop application is available to Windows, Mac, and even Linux if you want, or Linux. All right. So again, the activity portion is where you'll see all the notifications. And one of the issues that we've been facing in some of our adoption trials is that some messages tend to be ignored because the people are still used to being on Facebook more. And one of the things that Teams does to help that out is that instead of doing it like that, what happens now is if you don't open a message within 2 to 3 hours, it will actually email you the message and say they're waiting for you to reply. And that's been really helpful for me even to remember, oh yeah, there's a message that I haven't opened. open, and I'll open it immediately. All right. So now let's go to the chat tab. We have uh, something that kind of looks like, Messenger, basically, right? So if I press this Christine's page, right? She said, hi, David. So I'll be like, hi, Christine. So this is just like Facebook, just like Messenger, just like Telegram, or any of these other apps. Oh, and Christine's online. She liked my message. I'll heart her message. And I even got a notification on my desktop that she reacted to my post. And the nice thing here is when you make messages, you can actually customize it. So, just like an email or a Facebook post, you can do bold, you can do italics, and all these specific text editing and formatting. And you have some extra things. You can mark it as important or urgent. Urgent meaning they'll get a notification every 2 minutes for 20 minutes. So you know that your message will not be ignored. So I can be like, hello, you are a good friend. All right. I'll send that message. Now it marks as important. And it will actually give her like a exclamation point over here. And here we have a lot of other options. We can attach files. Right now it's from OneDrive and from my computer, but you'll see later we'll work on the Google Drive integration and how you can actually sync your Google Drive within Teams, so you won't ever have to open Google Drive on your browser again. You can add emojis, and I like the emojis here because they're moving, like this penguin here that's I find really cute. And we have GIFs. So just like, what you're used to, there are GIFs that you can share. All right. Okay. There are GIFs that you can share. And one of the interesting things that we can do is actually this thing called stickers. So if you go scroll down this list, there's actually a function called meme, right? And I can just press like this baby guy. I'm David, right? And so you can mess with your friends just like that. I've made a meme. I didn't need to save the photo, copy the photo, or go to memegenerator.com. It's there, it's sent. Just like that, a meme is done. So you can goof off with friends on Teams. Okay, and you can schedule meetings with the person. So right from there, she automatically pops up here. I can set up the time I want to meet with her, maybe a title, fun chat, and I can say details like, oh, let's catch up. All right. And one of the neat features is this scheduling assistant, where if they update their schedule as well, you can use this to find the common times, kind of like when to meet, and find the best times to meet with each other. Okay, I'll press send, and this will appear in my calendar and hers, and we'll see that later. And here we have some other extra features. You can even, as you can see right now, there's a button called Zoom. So you'll be able to use Zoom within Teams. And the ... will lead us to a lot of other apps that we will explore later. And if I share a file with her, I can access it through the Files tab. So right now, I'm just loading my OneDrive. And again, you can use your Google Drive, no problem with that. And I'm sending an Excel file to her. And if I go to my Files tab now, the Excel file will be there for her to access anytime. So if we're working on a project, I can just go to her chat and we'll be working on the file there. Okay. And from there, we have the video call and the audio call options, as well as sharing our screen. So, I can call her one-on-one or two-on-two or create group chats. So just like Messenger, right? Okay. Now, one of the benefits of Teams is that since we're in this secure Ateneo server or environment, I can just type a friend's name, for example, Hannah, and I don't need to know her email. We don't have to be friends on Facebook. I just need to know her name. I'll just type it, and now I can chat her. So I'd be like, hi, Hannah, just like that. So in creating a group chat, I can just type Hannah. I can type Christine. Sorry, I can just type Christine. And there, hi, friends. Sorry, hi, friends. So there, as you can see, it's so easy to add people to a chat. You don't need to know any of their contact details. Okay. Oh, Hannah's there. Hey, okay. And Christine is here too. Nice to see you, friends. Okay, so as you can see, you can create one-on-one chats. You can create group chats. So whether it's a chat with your executive board, like I have here, and it's bold because I haven't seen the message yet. Once I see the message, it will actually unbolden. And yeah, it's pretty self-explanatory, just like Facebook, just like Messenger. Okay, so now we'll go to the main meat of what Microsoft Teams is, the tab called Teams. Okay, so this is everything. This is where we'll find everything. Here right now, I have three teams. I have an executive board role in open source, an org that helps out students to be more productive, and we have a demo office and a demo organization. And it's really easy to create a team. It's as easy as pressing join or create a team and pressing create team, writing a name. So Sangu demo video. Okay, I can write a description and I can change to privacy. So whether it's private or public. And here, when I say public, it means it's just visible to all Ateneans, not outside. So if I make it public, it will actually look like this. So I can see some groups here already that are using Teams, like ACES. So great org, man. Rizal Library Ambassadors, great. And some orgs are private, of course. So what we can do is, again, let's do that. Sangu demo, right? Okay, let's create a private team because we want only people we know. Okay, from there, it's already creating the team for us. You just have to wait a bit and add members, okay? And here, you don't have to add everyone yet. So whether you're a prof, you don't have to add all the students in your class list. Or if you're an org, you don't have to add all the members in your Rec Week sign-up list, right? Maybe I can just add the people who are admins, right? My co-central board maybe, or my teacher's assistants. So I'll add these two. I'll add my friends, Hannah and Christine. And I can assign members or owner privileges, and we can explore that later. But now let's press close, and now we have the team. And right here, we have a general. So the thing with teams is you can create sub-teams within it. So whether it's a project or an org. So for example, an org, with Ateneo org, I have a finance department, and I have game nights. So I have different sub-channels or subgroups to really separate the different discussions. So if you go to finance department, I have a finance Excel sheet here for discussion. And in general, a general Excel sheet, maybe, member info entering, okay? And the beautiful thing with separating them into channels is what Teams calls the subgroups, is that files in general stay in general. So if I go to the files tab of general, I'll only be able to see the files in general. I won't be able to see the finance files, even if they're under the same team. So in finance depth, if I go to files, I will see only the finance Excel file, okay? And how do you create a channel? You just go to the dot, 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 and you create add channel. And you just make a name. So for example, test channel, okay? And here you even have privacy selections. So whether it's standard or private, should everyone have access, or should just maybe the central board or just the middle? You can create these things. Okay, right now we'll make it standard. Okay, let's press add. And just like that, we've created the test channel. And the people here are the same people in general. And now if I want to mention someone, I can just do add, and I can mention them. So they're tagged, and I'll be like, oh, hi there. Okay. And as you can see here, we have the similar functions just like the chat. You can do the text, you can add files, emojis, GIFs, memes, and all the other extensions that we can add. And you can, again, message each other, react to the post, reply to it. And the nice thing about Microsoft Teams is that we can add some files. So right now I have Google Drive, but let's work on OneDrive for now, just for now. Okay. I'll upload this Excel file. Right? Let's work on this. Hello, best speedle ever. Thank you, Hannah. Okay, so I can do at general. So when I do general, it actually mentions everyone, and they will get a notification on their phone, on their computer, that there's been an announcement. So when your class needs communication, the beadle can just simply tag general, and everyone will get notified of an announcement. All right? So the beautiful thing is if I press Excel right now, it will actually open Excel inside Teams. So I did not have to open the Excel application, although I have a different app, a different file open. I have Excel here inside Teams, and if they open it at the same time as I do, we can actually work on a sheet together, just like a Google Sheet. And this is collaboration, right? We can work on the sheet together. If my friends will join me, and we can chat about it here. So we can make comments while we're working on it. So the option is there, and we'll show you the Google Suite integrations later. All right. So again, since I added this file here, we can now see it in the Files tab, right? Okay. And there's a plus tab here, and you can add a lot of different applications like Planner, OneNote, and a lot of third-party as well. So if you want Kahoot, if you want Zoom, you have these applications that you can connect to make the your team more effective. Okay. So right now, I'll just create a planner. All right. So Planner is the Microsoft version of Trello, and Trello is also available as a third-party application here. So I'll just create a new plan. Let's say thesis work. Okay. Okay. I'll create that tab. So now it's creating a tab within general. Okay. So when they go here, if Zoom will hide. Okay. If we press the thesis tab, now it will open the planner inside Teams. So I can create a task. For example, read bibliography, just for example, right? Okay, I can set the due date. Okay, you have to finish it by 9, and I can assign it. So I can assign it, okay, Hannah needs to do this. I'll add a task. Okay, let's say start intro. Okay, start intro. Okay, the due date, maybe next week, Monday. I'll assign it to Christine and me. Okay, add task, just like that. And you can dig into this more. You can add notes. You can signify your progress. You can add tabs, attachments, comments. You have all these things and options that you can do to really delegate your work, especially during the online classes now. It's important that you're able to delegate and distribute the work equally and efficiently with your group mates. And this is one way to do that. And again, you're not limited to Planner. We have Trello. So I'll type Trello. You can add Trello as a tab and use that. Sometimes you might need mind mapping. You can use Miro board. So there's just a lot of applications that you can work into your team to increase the efficiency and ease of use. And again, I mentioned a while ago that a lot of you like Notion. So let's try that out, okay? So in my browser, I have the Notion website, and I'll just copy the link. So if the app is not present in the kind of app store of Microsoft Teams, and there are a lot, okay? But if it's not, what you can do is just press website. Okay, so right now we'll use Notion. Okay, and I'll add URL. So I'll add the URL, I'll press save. Okay, now it's opening Notion inside Teams. Okay, so I don't have to open my browser. So for example, you know, some of the files that we're using are here, then we can just open it here inside this team. And it's only accessible from this channel. Okay, so the other organizations that I'm part of, they won't be able to access it. And it's really that kind of like distribution of work, you know. You can be part of an office. You can be part of an org. You can be part of a barcada. You can be part of your class, right? And all these options are available to you, and you can create your own. And you're really not limited in the amount of teams you create, the amount of channels you distribute your work with. So whether for an org, it's different departments. For a thesis, it's different sections of your thesis. For a class, maybe different modules. So you have that option available to you. And now let's just go to the assignments tab. So the assignments tab is there, but it's not something that we'll be using because we'll be using Canvas as our LMS. But it's an option for professors to use as well for easier communication. And now we have calendar. So the nice thing here is I created an event a while ago with Christine while chatting her. And now it's appeared in my calendar, and it's appeared in hers as well. And when the time is right, so it's almost 2:30, so I can just press join. Sorry, I can just press join, and it'll open the call screen for me. Okay, and I can do the call with her. Although I'm doing a Zoom call right now, I can do that. So I'll press join with my camera and video turned off. And Jaina, you don't need to join, okay? But just to show you the different options here in Teams, again, if you press the dot, you have the option to do the 7x7 and the together mode features that we've been talking about earlier. You can change your background effects. You can start recording. And one of the beautiful things about Microsoft Teams is there is no limit. So once Google Meet expires, you can record all your meetings here and they're instantly uploaded to the Microsoft Cloud. So you don't have to record it locally and upload it to Google Drive, you know, using up lots of data in your bandwidth. So after the meeting is done, it will actually show up in the meeting chat, the link to the video, and you can download it if you want. Okay. Some other features, again, you can chat with your teammates and you can create memes as well. So, you know, you can still have fun in this call. You can raise your hand if you want to say something, and you can invite people. So right now, this is just me and Christine, but I can actually just type Hannah, and if I press this, it will actually pull her into the call. So I mean, it will notify her that I'm calling her, and it's up to her if she wants to accept it or not. And I can share my screen. So whether it's just a window, my entire screen, or specific files, I have the option to do that, as well as whiteboard. So if you want to discuss, you can use that as well. So now I'll end the meeting. All right. And that's just how the meetings work. And you know, you can do it from the chat, you can do it from a channel or a team, or you can do it right here. I'll press new meeting, I'll add the people I want, I'll add Hannah, I'll add other people, other professors, and just like that, you can schedule a meeting in your calendar. Okay, so that's calendar, and you actually have the option to create live events as well. If you want to host a live event online, up to 10,000 people, you have that option as well through Teams live events. And really, at the end of the day, this is good features that are not limited. You know, you have unlimited time to do calls with people. You're not limited to 40 minutes or anything, especially with students not having Zoom Pro accounts. You can use this to create calls with your group mates and work on projects together. Okay, calls tab is just speed dial. So you can add people to speed dial if you want to call them immediately. And now let's go to the files tab. So a while ago, I mentioned that in Teams, each of your files are separated into channels, right? And you can only access them within the channels. So this is the exception. In the files tab, you can actually access all your files with wherever they may be. So right now I have stuff in my OneDrive, I have stuff in this channel, and these are all I have. But I can see them based on recency and location. So now I will answer the question that a lot of people have been asking. How do you include your Google Drive, right? So if you press Add Cloud Storage here below, you'll have Dropbox and all these other cloud storage providers. And Google Drive will be here as well. It's just here for me right now because I've added it. Once you press Google Drive, it will ask you to sign in once. And after you sign in, you'll have access to your Google Drive inside Teams. So this is my entire Google Drive folder, and I don't need to open Google Drive to access it. All right. Okay. And now I can even upload files into Google Drive, right? without opening Google Drive. So let's go back to our Teams real quick. Okay. Here in Sangu demo, I'll add the file, and now I'll add it from my OneDrive, from my Google Drive. Sorry. I'll add it from my Google Drive, and I have access to all my files. Okay. So let's open one of these files. Okay. This is a Google Doc. Okay. A Google Doc, not a Word file. I'll press share a link. Okay, hi Hannah. Sorry, I forgot. Hi Hannah and Christine. And I can even format this, right? If I format it as an announcement, check this out. And you can beautify this. You can choose an illustration. And this is just, you know, being fancy, right? Okay, I'll choose the fire dragon, and you can upload your own as well. Please check this out, okay? And you can even set the settings so only moderators can reply if it's an important announcement. Okay, let's press send. So now I've sent this announcement of the file, okay? Now, I'll press the Google Drive, the Google Doc, and it's opening Google Docs inside Microsoft Teams. So that's the beauty of it, you know? Pardon the content, right? But you can access Google Docs inside your Microsoft Teams and work with your group mates inside Microsoft Teams. You don't have to open your browser. And the good thing here is it's now stored here in our channel in Sangu Demo General. So I don't have to save the link or bookmark it. If I need to, for example, this is our thesis, I just have to go to this channel and open the file here. And we can work on it together while we're on a call right now. We could meet right now and work on it while we're doing a call. And, you know, really, it's really up to you. And one of the other things that you can do, again, because this is a Microsoft tool, it has extra benefits when it comes to using Office 365. So if you press plus new, you can actually create Word documents and Excel workbooks and PowerPoints within Microsoft Teams. So you don't have to open Word online or Excel online. Okay. Lastly, let's just check the applications that we have here in Microsoft Teams. So that what we've talked about is the basic, the vanilla version of Teams, and you can really level it up with these applications. So for example, some organizations like RegCo, who have been very helpful in our enlistment process this semester, have been using Trello, and um, I forgot the other application that they've been using, but they've been using it to manage their team. So you can add these applications. You can add Kahoot to have fun calls with each other. You can add OneNote to share notebooks, to share notes. You can do Miro to, collaborate on vision casting or whatever. And there's just a lot more. And one of them is Zoom, right? So if you add Zoom, you can create meetings within Microsoft Teams. Okay, and a lot more. Moodle, so you can actually access Moodle inside Teams, and a lot more applications. Okay, and if you need some help, there's actually a help page here where you can go to trainings. You can access what's new. So Together Mode was new a few weeks ago, and it will be announced here. You can go on trainings if you need help on how to do a live event, how to set up a team, how to make it private. Everything is here, easy for you to access. So yeah, so that's Microsoft Teams, right? And lastly, you can set your settings. So if you're busy, no one can call, you don't want anyone to call you, you can do it like that. You can change your status to available. Hi everyone, I'm available. You can message me, and you can create a status message as well that people will see when they message you. All right, so that's basically what Microsoft Teams is, right? We've explored the basics, and I appreciate that some of the people have been messaging here in our live stream. I'll go to that later. Let's just go back to my PowerPoint real quick, and I have a few finishing slides. All right. So and this is a specific use case, right? So your group mates and someone in a class online, and you have to do a project. Well, these are some of the things that you have to do. You have to create a team. You have to share your files. You have to assign tasks and deadlines, schedule meetings, and work on the documents together. And all of this can be done inside Microsoft Teams. You don't need your browser. You don't need to use Facebook or Messenger. You can do it all inside one platform, which is why Microsoft Teams is really powerful. So what does that look like, right? So first, pulling your team together, you'll add the member inside Microsoft Teams. So you'll just press add member, type the person's name or email if you want, and you can add them. All right, just like that, add them to the team. All right, now sharing pertinent information. So you go to your channel that's relevant, and you press your files tab, and you'll find all the important files, or create new files like I mentioned earlier, and add files from your cloud storage. So you can actually add a Google Drive folder if you have important references stored there, and change the format of how files are displayed if you want a sneak peek into the cover page of your PowerPoint or the first page on your Word document. Next, assigning tasks and deadlines. So just like a while ago, Planner, you can use that to create planners like this. And this is more specific than the one I've made, but where you can use all these functionalities to really make it more efficient for the team and to track everyone's deliverables and schedules and the group's progress in the project. And if you go to conversations, you can schedule a meeting inside the channel, join when the time is right, blur your background, change your background, fix your hair before a call if you want. And once you're ready, press join, and you'll be with your teammates, right? And you can collaborate on documents while on a call with them. So their face goes up there, and you can work on a document. And this is the demo of working on a Word document together while also being able to chat with each other. Okay. And lastly, access always up-to-date notes. So one of the things in Microsoft Teams meetings as well is you have an option to take meeting notes. So within the call, you'll be able to take minutes, see the participants. You can actually download the attendee list and mark it down there. And so if someone misses the meeting, they can just refer to your meeting notes for access to what they missed. So that's the basic of Microsoft Teams, right? And before I move to Q&A, again, I'd like to tell fresh sheets and new users. So if you've never claimed your Microsoft Office 365 and all the other applications, just go to aka.ms/office education. And if you can't access your account, please message open source on Facebook through the link. And just to show you all the applications that we get, all you have to do is actually go to office.com, sign in with your account. So apologies, I have a lot of tabs open. All right. And here, once you're signed in, I'm signed in already. You can install the desktop version, so the offline apps, or you can access Word from online. So this is Word Online, just like that. Okay. And I can access all the other apps. If I press all apps, I can explore all the applications that we get as Ateneans, whether it's OneNote, Microsoft Forms, Power BI, Sway, PowerPoint. You have all that accessible to you. And just one interesting thing that I wanted to share before we go to Q&A again, sorry, is how we can use AI to make our presentations more pretty. So for example, we're creating a timeline, right? And I want to do it like January test, okay? February revise, March rollout, okay? Just like that, I'll press design ideas over here, and it's using AI to understand what's in our PowerPoint slide, and it creates all these beautiful designs for us. So it can be like this, or it can create a timeline for us, just like that. You have all these options, and it will create lots of ideas for you. And that's just the tip of the iceberg, right? Microsoft is really revolutionizing how we use AI. One of the things I've shared in the Loyola School's online learning community is the way to transcribe, and it saves the timestamps as well as who spoke during that time using Microsoft Word. All right, so right now we finished the demo. I finished my PowerPoint slides. I'd like to spend the time doing a Q&A with the questions